The room was richly furnished, decorated in colorful silks and satins, with a large canopied bed against the left wall and a dressing table opposite it on which a lantern sat. And standing near the dressing table, looking at me with one hand to her mouth, was Lady Ashenza herself, still dressed in the same black and purple robe. I rose and reached for my kukuri, preparing to silence her before she could cry out, but to my surprise she put a finger to her lips and shook her head. I hesitated. There was no reason for me to wait. I had my target marked and helpless, but something about her expression stopped me. Her face was older than I had expected, though still beautiful, but sad, somewhat regal, certainly not vacant and vapid as Lady Ashenza's reputation had branded her. I took a few steps closer, hand still near my kukuri. "I expected you," she said quietly, with the slightest tremor in her voice. "I knew you would come." I did nothing, frozen by her sonorous voice, and an echo of my earlier memory briefly flitted across my consciousness. "Freedom and a true family. I even wanted you to come here, really," she went on. "It's why I sent the guard. I knew you would be waiting." I flinched slightly. Had this all been a trap, then? But I had used due caution before entering the room, and as seconds passed by without any result, I grew more easy, though extremely curious. "If you knew I would come, then you know why I'm here," I said finally, and risked a question and a few more moments of wasted time. "Why would you willingly wait for me?" Lady Ashenza turned away and looked towards her dressing table. "The result would have been the same if someone else from Argoth's service had come," she said at length, lowering one elegant hand to the collar of her dress. "But you might learn from the experience in ways others would not, and so I hoped you would be the one given this assignment." "I don't choose the assignments I'm given," I replied. "I abide by Argoth's will." "As Father Jant interprets it," she interrupted, and I looked at her in surprise. "You may find that he is not always right about everything, Acolyte. Not even you. Until you think and act for yourself, you are no more than one of Jant's slaves, not a true follower of Argoth." I stepped closer. "My lady, I am not here to discuss philosophy." She smiled without mirth. "No, you're here to kill me for worshipping Vraver." She shook her head. "Would it help if I said I did not worship the Lady of Stars and Shadows, at least no more than I do any other god? If I told you I'm a simple person who poses no threat to you nor your order?" I shook my head slowly. "No, lady, it would not. I have my orders to follow, and I believe in those who give them." Lady Ashenza nodded, turning away. "I thought as much. But there are forces in Corel besides the Order of Argoth, forces who may in the end decide much more than the fate of this city." She turned back, and I was shocked to see the calmness on her face, the quiet certainty. She looked neither like a brainless socialite nor a person about to die by an assassin's blade. "You will either have to choose where you stand, or the choice will be made for you. But whatever you decide, I at least am not a threat to you, Grayshade," she said with a small, hesitant step forward. I blinked at the use of my name but did not move. "Freedom." "No, I am not a threat to you," she repeated. "The threat you face is your own, that of your order and your service. You have probably begun to suspect this." I stared at her, fascinated. "The question now is, what will you do to face that threat? Kill me if you must. It makes little difference. What will you do when faced with the real evil, that which resides at the heart of what you believe, and which threatens to consume you?" A true family. She had now come dangerously close, and I could still not seem to command my hand to move. "It is not too late to turn away from that evil, to do what you think you should do, not what you are told you must do." She stopped less than a foot away, her voice a faint quaver. "What path will you choose, Grayshade?" she asked. "With whom does your allegiance lie?" I blinked as if waking from a dream, and she gave me a gentle smile. And then with two swift slashes of my kukuri I gave her my answer. I declared my allegiance long ago, and neither uncertain memory nor a honey-sweet tongue would sway it. Her body hit the floor with a thud, a smile still etched on her face. I uttered a minor binding spell and watched for a moment as the blood oozing from the magically bound wounds began to slow. Then I turned away and retraced my path through the window and onto the roof of the home. I hesitated for a moment, looking at the street below, then dropped to one knee and prepared to recite the prayer of repayment. It was my 10th year in the service, and I had just killed my 100th person in the name of Argoth, the just god.
Soldiers in the ruins, rubble in the streets, corpses near the buildings, others light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice, time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss loved ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Take the final road. Now it's time for endings. Now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm running the war because it's the time that we've got right now. Major announcement hype. Oh yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome to a Friday stream. It is Friday, December 6th. It is 9:20 p.m. Eastern, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to a major announcement for a big project, and then the epic conclusion of Neverwinter Nights: Tyrants of the Moonsea. But first, an epic announcement. I am going to be actually joined by someone who will help me with this epic announcement, and I will make that epic announcement in just a minute. Before I do that, though, I do want to do two things. Before I remind everybody about ways to support the channel, let me start by thanking those of you who jumped on board with subs and spread the holiday love with emotes and so forth. Thank you to Kooky Canuck. Thank you to Commander Dunsel. Thank you to Hillness so much. And enjoy the holiday emotes, folks. Enjoy the holiday cheer. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And you too can follow suit and support the channel in one of the following ways, or all of them actually, starting by, thank you, Echo, first of all, by following the channel. That is always appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please consider supporting the channel by checking out the YouTube with the !ArvTube. We have about 721 subscribers over there, so we're continuing to build up over there, which is awesome. !ArvTube for that. !ArvCord will get you over to my Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams, which is always a pleasure. !ArvTweets is the Twitter, and I would love to see that too, because we're up to 1,029 followers over there, so that also helps too. If you're able to support us by subscribing over there, I always try to post there when I go live and so forth, or when I have mysterious announcements to make. And arvanelleron.com is where you can find out details about all of this. Also, it is my great pleasure to tell you about the financial ways to support the channel. The first, of course, is that shop, !Arv shop, where you can get right now Infinity and Beyond merchandise. We are, of course, playing D&D Curse of Strahd. We will have 2 sessions coming up this month of that. You can also get Adventures in Middle-earth stuff with Terry Toons doing the illustrations. We will have 2 sessions of that on the docket for you folks this month as well. And we hope to have some Esper Genesis stuff up there pretty soon. And we will also have 2 sessions of that this month, including tomorrow evening, where I will be doing a live session at around 6 p.m. Eastern from PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia of Esper Genesis with Carlos Hernandez and Johnny Pittman live with me, and with Zach Clay and Kat Rambo remoted in from the West Coast. So it's going to be a great time. Definitely will not want to miss that, and I am very excited for that. On the other financial side, the Patreon, !Arvtreon, makes a big difference as well. That really supports the channel and really helps me do a whole bunch of stuff, including videos for the channel and logos and all that kind of stuff. So it really makes a difference and allows us to improve the channel and continually grow it and get more good content for you folks. And also, oh, that's cool, Hillness. Good place, Seattle. Good place. And also, it allows you to get some cool stuff for yourself as well, including one of my band's 3 albums. My band is going to be playing a show 1 week from tonight at the Lily Pad in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So definitely, if you were in the Massachusetts area, would love to see you for that. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're pretty excited about that show. So you can get one of my band's albums. You can get a critique of your writing. You can get an epic poem written about you, a character background written for you, and a whole bunch of other things. So cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel. I want to be able to do another Talisman tournament. I'd like to run another Arvanaut Idol 4, I think it would be, writing competition, but I can't do that until the Patreon gets up higher. So let's please consider, if you're able to support the channel by doing that, that would be great. And last but certainly not least, of course, that sub button, which many of you have already used tonight. I think we're sitting right now at about 41 or 42 subs, so I'd love to see that continue to go up as well as we continue to move on to the end of the month. All right. Now, I will talk more about schedule and channel stuff at a later point. But first, I have to talk about this major announcement, and I am super happy to do it. And so I'm going to get rid of this, and last but not least, this. And I am going to pull up that. Oops, hold on a second. I got my slow business going on. It's too slow. You are too slow, sir. My announcement is that I'm going to be going into more than 5 frames per second. I hope you're all excited. Okay, there we go. Oh, hey, look at that. The announcement is already completed. All right. So welcome, everybody. It's good to see everyone. And man, am I excited about this evening. I've been teasing this for quite a while, teasing this announcement. And I am very happy to make this announcement now with all of you. And then I will bring on someone who will actually be here to talk about this. So As you folks know, during the past year, we ran 2 Kickstarters to support several projects that I was involved with. The first was the Forbidden Library Kickstarter, Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. The update I have on that, by the way, in case anyone is curious, is that that is now, the layout for that is completed. It is now in final edits, and we expect to have that to you very shortly. That may, however, be in late January, early February in terms of it coming out from the printer. So be aware that there may be a delay in that regard, but we are, layout is finished. The maps are just about done. The adventure is all done. Everything is set the way that it needs to be. It is just in final edits, and then will be sent off to the printer. So we are talking about that happening soon. However, that doesn't mean the next week or so. So I don't want anyone to overreact to that. It's just that it is coming soon. We should have that to you, as I say, but from the printer by hopefully early February is the target date for that. So I am very excited about it. No, it is an American printer. It is a printer based out of Texas, Kerflop. So that's going to make it a lot easier. So it's an American printer, and it's actually a printer that does yearbooks, actually. And that's one of the reasons why they have this really awesome pipeline and why the books that they make are so freaking awesome. So the book looks great, by the way. The art is just so awesome, and I'm very, very excited for it. So that was the Forbidden Library Kickstarter that we ran, and that is going to be coming to you folks soon. Then we ran the Icarus Kickstarter, as you all know, and we were able to do that with the help of a bunch of you lovely people who supported me on that as well. And that, of course, is my graphic novel, Icarus and Jelinek. The art for that is spectacular. Jelinek is already finished. Icarus currently is in inks and colors, so we're in the inks color stages of that. And so we are on track for that to be out as well in late March, early April, which is pretty much what we said on the original Kickstarter as well. So that is going to be coming out also. Very excited about the release of that as well. And it is, so those are those 2 properties. But a third property of mine, which I have talked about on this channel before, and which in fact I spoke about some years ago in a different form, has to do with the thing that you heard before my typical intro music, which were the dulcet tones of Mr. Trendane Sparks doing an audio reading of my book, Grayshade. And it's about that which I want to make this exciting announcement. I am super, super excited. My announcement is that it is my great pleasure. I think I was about to announce that it's my great pleasure to announce. It's just my great pleasure to announce that early next year, and the target date is probably March of next year is when we're going to launch this officially. In March of next year, we will be launching a Kickstarter to support not simply the Grayshade books, but to support the Grayshade universe. And by that, I mean the following. 3 novels will be released in this line. One of those novels, of course, Grayshade, is already finished. The second novel of that is largely finished, the novel, the sequel to it, called Renegade. The third novel, which is called Heretic, is outlined but has not been released yet. That will be edited by the guest that I will be bringing on in just a little bit, one Mr. John Helfers, twice nominated for a Hugo Award, a familiar to people of this channel as the GM of Emberwind, and of course as one Mr. Django Lucky on our Curse of Strahd campaign, and has played with us Infinity and Beyond for a long time. And so that those 3 novels are going to be released by the same company which is doing the second component of this Grayshade universe release. The Kickstarter will not only feature those 3 novels, but will also feature a board game which is being designed by Clarion Game Studios and is being released by Clarion Game Studios and designed by this gentleman, Mr. Dylan Bertolo. In case you're not familiar with Dylan's work, although you have seen him on this channel before, Dylan is not only an author, but a well-known game designer now who works for Linvander Game Studios and also is known for the Shadowrun Sprawl Ops game coming out from Catalyst Games, which, no big deal, made over $100,000 on Kickstarter. This guy is incredible. This board game is incredible. I have played it. I have had a chance to actually play the prototype. In fact, John Helfers has had a chance to play this as well. We are exceedingly excited about this. It is a game in which you have not just gameplay, but where you have an adventure-based thing where a lot of the weapons, the items, the outfits, the things that you get from the book and that come into the book are also going to be visible within this board game universe. It is really, really awesome. You get to play the characters from the book. You get to actually play in a both cooperative and competitive context, because the game has both a cooperative approach for much of it and then a competitive approach for a little bit of it. If any of you have ever played Battlestar Galactica, the board game, if you've ever played Shadows over Camelot, this may remind you a little bit of this as well. I cannot even tell you how good this game is that he's done. It's an incredible design, and I'm just so excited about it. This is a big, big deal. And it's going to be released by Clarion Game Studios, who most recently produced the games Henchmen, which was John Helfer's and Dylan Bertolo's game, but also have done other things as well, which you can find by going over to their website, which is at clariongamestudios.com. So you should be able to check that out over there. I'll try to post that link there as well. That is the board game. I backed it. Editing needed work. Yeah, great. So that's the board game. But it doesn't stop there, folks. So far we've got Dylan and we've got John. We've got Alligator Al. No, I don't have that yet. We have Clarion Game Studios, which produced that board game, is going to be producing that board game. And you've got myself. Okay, so we've got those people that are on board. But that is not the end of it, because I am also happy to announce that as a part of this Kickstarter, and we don't yet know if this is going to be part of the immediate package or if this is going to be the first stretch goal. But the point is, it's the thing that we are including this for, absolutely sure. Being published and released by Alligator Alley Entertainment and designed by none other than Aaron Rosenberg, who has designed over 100 board games, tabletop games, and many other such things. He is also a very gifted author who has written many novels of various types, both original and tie-in, for Warcraft, for StarCraft, I believe, for a bunch of other ones. Aaron is going to be designing the Grayshade tabletop role-playing game. It will be 5e compatible, and you will be able to play games set in the world of Corel, which is the city in which Grayshade is set, a dark fantasy city. The pitch line for these books and this world is what would happen if Jason Bourne were trained in 15th century Rome in the ways of sonic magic. That is what this setup is. Imagine Assassin's Creed, if you will. Now imagine what that is like. Assassin's Creed, the role-playing game, if you will. That is what this is going to be. The tabletop role-playing game is going to be released, and the art is going to be used both for the role-playing game and the board game. We are thinking, although I can't promise this yet, that there might even be some crossover we can do directly between board game and role-playing game, but that is a little more speculative. What is not speculative is that the art and the design and, again, the world itself will be incorporated as a part of that tabletop role-playing game experience as well. So you have here Alligator Alley Entertainment, you have Clarion Game Studios, you have myself, you've got Dylan Bertolo, and you've got John Helfers editing it, all of whom are working together to bring you what I think is going to be one of the most exciting properties of 2020. Moreover, and this part, again, is we do not yet know if this is going to be part of the main package or if it's going to be one of those stretch goals. You also heard the dulcet tones of one Mr. Trendane Sparks reading to you. I am happy to say that we are also going to be producing an audiobook of the Grayshade experience, of the Grayshade game, narrated by Mr. Trendane Sparks, also known as the main bad villain in Battletech, also known as the role player extraordinaire on this channel as well. So Trendane is going, yes, exactly, wah. So Trendane is, this audiobook is going to be coming out as well. Now, what we do not yet know is whether or not this is going to be, again, a stretch goal, whether it's going to be part of the initial package or any of those things. We don't yet know if that is going to be the case. But we can say here that we have got in audio, in tabletop, in board game, and of course the novels themselves, which were my babies. I mean, these are the things that I produced myself, that we are going to produce for you what I'm extremely proud of. I think it is a world of moral gray that still has a dimension of hope. There's a sense, I think, in this world that one can move beyond just sort of the sort of gritty evil that exists in that world. And yet it is a world of grittiness, of sadness. There is political intrigue. There is all kinds of bad things that happen as well. And so it is a world, as I say, think Jason Bourne, think James Bond, think Assassin's Creed, and combine that in this sort of dark fantasy city, which gains some inspiration from the cities of Lankmar, which is originally inspired by Renaissance Venice. All of those things are part of what Corel is. And Grayshade is the main character. Grayshade is the best acolyte, the best leader of this group of assassins who kills in the name of his god, Argoth, the just god. And what you heard at the very end of that little audio clip is the killing of his 100th person in the name of Argoth, the just god, and everything kind of happens from there. So I have been sitting on this news, sort of prepping it for a while, and I've been sitting on this news for a while. And right now, Mike Ciravella and Dylan Bertolo are both at PAX Unplugged. All the Alligator Alley guys are at PAX Unplugged, or they would be here with me to make this announcement too. But I could not be happier about it. And so I'm actually going to tweet this out, and then I'm going to bring John in so we can talk about it. I'm also happy to answer any questions. I will say up front, though, I do not yet have a mock-up of the Kickstarter page. We don't yet have a mock-up of the art. All of that stuff is to come. We do have many of those things already, but we don't have stuff that we're in a position to show yet. But the idea is we're planning to do this early next year, which means next year is going to be a big year for me, folks, because it means that we're looking at Forbidden Library coming out in February. We're looking at this Kickstarter launching in March. We are looking at Icarus coming out in late March, early April. So we got a bunch of stuff happening next year. This will obviously have corollary effects with the channel as well, because my plan is to try to be able to run a Grayshade campaign of some kind on this very channel, using that tabletop role-playing game system being designed by Aaron Rosenberg. So there's going to be corollary effects here, and I mean, I am just really, really excited about the prospects of this and how this is all going to work. And so that's crazy. Yeah, I heard that, Coven. Thank you, Commander Dunsel. And I will take questions here in just a second, but I do want to tweet this out. I would ask everybody to please, I'm going to make this tweet right now. Please, please, please retweet this. Please hype this up. I'm trying to do this now because, of course, we're not coming up with it right now. Now we're going to have Christmas and New Year's, but I want to get people that want it on their radar screens. And then once we get closer to it, probably in February is when we'll announce the official launch Kickstarter date. And then we will just keep going on and on and on. One thing I can also say is that the book, as I said, the first novel, Grayshade novel, is complete. And in fact, was published in another form, in another version of it by the Ed Greenwood Group before the Ed Greenwood Group ultimately folded. So the Grayshade version that you are getting now is the manuscript that has not Ed Greenwood stuff associated with it. It is my own original manuscript that I originally brought to them. And the sequels to it, Renegade and Heretic, I'm very proud of. Renegade is already complete. Heretic is already fully outlined. And those books are going to be coming out in relatively short order. My guess would be that Grayshade would be 2020, Renegade would be 2021, Heretic would be 2022. But the point is, these things are all, it's not like, I'll do the books at some point in the future. Like the book, the first book's already done pretty much, except for John's last editing. And then Heretic requires John's editing, but that, again, the manuscript is complete. And then the third book is outlined. So this stuff is going to be able to consistently happen. So I'm just very, very excited. Thank you. I'm very excited about that. And I know. Do I know the universe well enough? That's a good question. I don't know if I'm really an expert. But I'm super excited about it. And what I will really need from you folks is your help to basically hype this up. You have all been so generous to me in your support of the channel, and you guys know the drill. I want to do these kinds of things not only because obviously it's a help to my career, but also because I really want to do this where we're bringing people along for the ride. And honestly, the idea of being able to do something of this type where you've also got, the idea that I just said that we're launching the Grayshade universe is kind of mind-blowing to me, And like all of the people that I mentioned, Dylan and John and Aaron and Trendane and Alligator Rally and Clarion Game Studios, all the people who are responsible for setting this up, it's just unbelievable. And there's a couple of other things that if the Kickstarter does well and the universe does as well as we expect and hope it will, that I can't even talk about that are also in the pipeline that's even more hype. So, oh my God, I'm just super, super excited about it. Rolling Discord Grayshade RPG Living Universe in character campaign. That would be sick. Can you imagine like a Discord channel that's just dedicated to that? Oh God, man, I dig it. But I really am excited about that. And you folks have made it possible for me to consider releasing something like this in this sort of massive universe way. It's not something I would have expected before. So thank you, Prince Justin. Of course, and Prince Justin would know this, because he knows what the industry is like. And so having a community of people is really, really important. But I believe passionately in community, and I really am excited about the prospect of bringing this together with all of you. So I'm super excited about it. It's awesome. What are you doing? Oh my God. Suddenly Coven's like, blah, 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 blah. Holy crap, dude. Wow. Dude, Coven, you are way too generous to me, man. It's close to Christmas. Thank you. Thank you, Coven. Thank you very much. That is super generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy all the extra awesome emotes, everybody. Thank you, Coven. I appreciate that, man. That's crazy. That's wow. That is a huge sub bomb. So thank you, everybody, for that, and thank you very, very much, Coven Guy. Boy, I appreciate that very much. All right, so I'm going to tweet this out. Thank you again, Coven. Many times, thank you. So I'm going to tweet this out. You did, but it was all worth it. I'm going to tweet this out, and then I'm going to bring John in, and we can chat a little more about it, and then we will get back to Neverwinter Night. So I'm going to tweet this out. And got all this. Okay, and tweeted. Okay. So, could you all do me a favor, and could you all please retweet this? Could you please retweet that? I will come back, by the way, and ask the mods at a later point. I will probably ask the mods to make some kind of a command for me, because that would be much appreciated. Oh my God, the ARF that would be much appreciated, because I want to make sure that I really kind of build a hype up for this, and I'll come back and ask more about that at a later point. So, okay. To go. And by the way, if I just say one note again about the audio, I've heard, Trending was sending this to me chapter by chapter when we thought it was going to be coming out as part of the agreement group. And holy cow, like Trends work on this. Like, I wrote these words, right? And the audio of it with all of these people speaking and like him speaking the prayer of repayment is just chilling. Just chilling. Like, it's so goddamn good. I want that to that's one of the reasons I want the audio to come out. I want the audio to come out, and then I want him to get awards for it. Like, oh God, super, super good. So anyway, okay, I am going to pop up my Zoom link here so that I can bring Mr. John Helfers on, and he can talk a little bit about this and talk about his background, although I think everybody already knows John, but I will do this for the benefit of the video people who are going to be checking this out. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Let me get rid of that. All right, give me 1 second while I fix something with my webcam. So I want to deactivate that. I want to activate that. Configure the video for this. Remove those. Okay, then I want to deactivate this, and I want to activate, where are you? Activate that. There we go. Now I can put that back on. Now I can start this, and that's much better. There we go. Lovely. All right. Now we're going to invite. Copy URL. Good. One shot of Curse Strahd. No, we will not be doing that. I'll take a Quiznos Sandwich Artist of the Week award. Dude, your work on that is just so good. I really am in awe of how good it is. So it's all that good. It's all good stuff. Okay, I'm going to put the Zoom link in, which means that John will be joining us momentarily. So now, if people have questions, I am happy to answer them. Give me his cloak and hoodie. Dude, I know some of you, by the way, in case anyone's curious about those who have who supported the original one, for which I am extremely grateful, by the way. I thank you so much, by the way. I see a bunch of people are already retweeting it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to, let's see, thank you to Brahms. Thank you so much. Thank you to Prince Justin. Thank you so much to Video Store Cowboy. Thank you to Commander Dunsel. By the way, Commander Dunsel, who has been retweeting everything. Thank you to Trendane for retweeting it as well. Thank you guys all so much. Please continue to do that. Can I just say, Commander Dunsel, I'm really grateful to all the retweets, man. Like, Dunsel retweets almost everything that I do that's channel related or connected to it in some way, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. It really matters. I notice it, and so thank you to everyone who retweets it. But thank you to Commander Dunsel, because you really went above and beyond. What was I going to say? Okay, there's stuff like that. Yes, so if people have questions about that, and I am going to add, flavor text and stuff like that first. I just wanted to make sure that I got the link up there so that I could make the announcement first and get it out there on December 6th, because it's going to be a busy month for the rest of the month. We got a bunch of stuff going on schedule-wise, but I wanted to be able to announce this because it's important to me. And as I say, 2020 looks to be very busy. I've got, in addition to the middle grade manuscript that I just finished, and I'm going to be just about finished in the revisions, I'm sending that off to beta readers. I'm going to basically be sending that off on submission to agents early next year. That, of course, is just me doing that. Then I've got, as I said, Forbidden Library will be out. I've got Icarus, which will be coming out. It's still in the spring. I mean, like, Q1 2020 is going to be a big deal, like Q1 into Q2. And then we've got, Origins in the summer. We've got ReaderCon. I've got probably Gen Con, it looks like, that's going to be coming up. Fall of next year may involve a little bit of travel that I can't yet talk about too much in detail because it hasn't happened yet, but there is a chance I might be teaching abroad in fall of 2020 and talk about stuff. So it's going to be I'm going to be a busy bee. But I'm very excited for it. It's all good stuff and it's all valuable. And I'm just so excited about the Grayshade stuff, because of what we got it. Yeah, busy in the good way. So. Is it ever possible to take a year off and just teach? Well, part of the job is being able to publish, Echo, Although, having said that, there's going to be a period of rest for me coming pretty soon, actually. Not in the next few months, but fairly soon, in which I will be able to take time off from everything a little bit, except for maybe just hanging with the family, reading some books, and playing some video games with you guys and tabletop games. There will be some of that happening, but it's going to be a little while down the line. So, yeah. So we've got CanCon is later. That's fall. So that's later. But yes, I'm trying to make sure that I don't get burned out. That's one of the reasons that I have to kind of keep the stream schedule kind of fairly rigid, because I have to do that. But yeah. So, but I'm very excited about it. So if you have questions, I am happy to answer any questions that you have about any of those things. I'm happy to answer questions about what I can answer right now in terms of what we know and don't know. Again, Grayshade was basically the third book that I ever worked on seriously from a creative point of view. It followed with The Third Sign, which was published, of course, Icarus, which, as you know, has now been published, and Grayshade was the third of those books, and it's been through a lot of iterations and revisions since then, so there's a lot of that was happening as well. So, like James T. Kerr, Con! Yes, exactly. Very much so. Con! Yes. So, yeah. But anyway, so it was a labor of love for me. Again, the board game and the tabletop game, I'm just so happy that I can do something that involves all these aspects, because I really think the board game is going to be a hit. I just think that Dylan has designed the hell out of it. I think that Clarion's the right company to do it. I think, I just think it's going to be good, and it's already been play tested in multiple forms, and so I think it's going to be real good. It's a game that I would want to, but like, if I did not write it or have anything to do with it, I would look at this and be like, I would like that, the Assassin's Creed-ish board game with political intrigue, hell yes, please bring that on. So there's that. And then the role-playing game. I mean, like, Aaron Rosenberg is a very gifted game designer and a good friend who I drive out to Origins in Columbus with every year. And in fact, he is one of the 3 co-runners of the Origins library with me, John, Aaron, and myself. And oh my gosh, like, I mean, his knowledge of games, what he's done with games, and of course fiction, is amazing. And so he's going to be working on this, and that's going to be super great. Like, and Alligator Alley, I don't think I need to tell anyone about the quality of their work. You know, the books that they produce, the stuff that they've produced is just off the hook good, as you will see for yourself again when you see the Forbidden Library stuff. So this just seemed like a slam dunk when we started chatting about it, about them being able to do this. Oh man, I'm just super excited about it. So it's going to be great. Let's get a playtest at Gen Con 2020. Well, there's a good chance that we would have playtest mechanics out there, especially if the Kickstarter does as well as we expect and hope. In that event, I think you can pretty much be sure that we would have some kind of prototype / playtest there available, especially if you happen to know the designer and the writer. You know, like if you happen to know a guy who knows a guy, then, you know, I might be able to hook you up with a playtest. But I would actually would welcome that, Hillness. It would be great. So probably be crossing his fingers his name is spelled correctly on the box. Oh yeah. No, but no, Dylan, and you know, so Dylan's a very gifted board game designer. Aaron's a very gifted RPG designer. Again, Clarion and Alligator Rally respectively are great. And John is a wonderful editor. You know, John bought my first novel, The Third Sign. He is a very gifted editor who worked on last year's Origins Library anthology, which came together very well. As I said, 2-time Hugo nominee is nothing to sneeze at. And so I could not be happier that he's editing it, and it's going to be good stuff. So I'm very excited about it. So I wish I knew a guy. There you go, Div. And then I've play tested Everwind. Yes. So anyway, it's going to be great. And yeah, the Grayshade on my channel, it's going to be great. Again, the way I would describe it is, if you could imagine, it's got a little bit of the Blades in the Dark feel, except more than that, because you have a whole sort of assassins organization that works with a religious sort of flavor to it. So as I said, they kill in the name of their god. There is a great deal of political intrigue. Corel is basically a city in which you have 3 major power bases: the governmental system, which is its one power base; the mercantile system, the merchants, the shopkeepers, that's its own system; and then the third system are the religious orders, kind of the faith-based area of the church. In fact, they even live in what is popularly called the church district, and you have all of these sort of religious orders working with each other. And the Order of Argoth is the sort of most feared of these groups, and that's the one that Grayshade is in. And when the book begins, Grayshade is the best of the best, and then something happens and stuff goes sideways, and then I can't talk more about that because I don't want to spoil. But that's what it's about. I'm very proud of the book. I worked hard on it. Was very much driven by and inspired by the TV show The Equalizer, the one that Denzel Washington movie was made of. Fine movie, but not really that much having to do with the TV show. But if you've ever seen the TV show with Edward Woodward in the 80s, which was basically about this guy who's in New York City, worked for the agency, pretty much the CIA, and then quit, and basically uses his contacts and things like that to get try to help people, to try to get redemption for himself and what he's done. There's an element of that very much so in this. So there is a little bit of magic here as well. It is a fantasy city, a lot of crazy, some crazy creatures, and just a lot of sort of like, dark, gritty fantasy, but again, with an element of hope. I mean, I don't write grimdark. There's an element of hope about this book and about this world, and so super excited. I'm very happy about it. So that's the deal that we've got. I'm super excited about that, so it's good. Remote desktop into my home computer is a command stuff. Oh, no, I don't think you necessarily need to add a command right now, Shadowed. It's oh my god. Kilobyte with a resub, yes! Thank you very much, Kilobyte. Hey, Kilobyte, I wanted to tell you that you will be getting your website money from me shortly, because I just got this morning my Patreon money. So that means that you will be able to get the money that I pay you for, website stuff. So it's coming soon. I just want to let you know that's the case. And thank you for the resub too. I appreciate that. So right now, Hillness, I forget who it was that actually made it, but one of my wonderful mods did that, Shadowed. So I guess what we will need over time is to kind of produce like a sort of text that summarizes it. That Twitter sort of explains the basics. I imagine I'll do more later, but like that's sort of, we just wanted to do this. Like I obviously had to keep this secret until now. So we just wanted to get the basics up there, kind of linking to that Twitter site. So that's the deal with that. So it was Hillness. Thank you, Hillness, very much, dude. So, yes. Thank you for the retweet, Mike. Thank you for the sub, Prince Justin. Thank you for the new Patreon, Prince Justin as well. Look at this. We got our number up to the, hell yeah, 303. Get down with 303. Yeah, you know me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Prince Justin. And I also want to say, genuine. It's okay if I say who you are, right, Prince Justin? I think your name is already out there. Can I say who you are? Am I allowed to say who you are? Is that cool? So Prince Justin is actually Paul Weimer, who is he works with the Skiffy and Fanty podcast. I've had him on Speculate before. He knows an incredible amount about the fantasy and science fiction field. He also is a very gifted photographer. If you want to see like nature photos, like, and not just nature photos, just photography in general, that is like really like, and I know Rock God, actually, you and Rock God should hang out, because two of the best photographers I know are Prince Justin and Rock God. Like, oh my God. It's super, super good. So you should follow Paul on his Prince Justin Twitter account. He is also a genuinely nice guy. Like, he's well liked by just about everybody that is good and good kind people in the fantasy community. So he's really, really good guy, and you should definitely go over and follow him and support his stuff and do all that stuff. He's a good dude. So yes, please post your Twitter link, at least, Prince Justin, because it's really good. And he's just like, he's supported us over here as well. Not only is he a sub, but he's come over and he often watches the Aspergenesis stuff and all that. So he's a good guy. And I should say Turbo Tango, who is still here. I think Turbo Tango had to leave, but Turbo Tango, as you folks know, is my very good friend Mike Underwood, who runs the co-host the Speculate podcast with me, and of course has done stuff like that on this channel as well. He is. And Mike knows, Prince Justin also. And so he's he's just sort of good people. So, but yeah, you should definitely chat with each other, because they'd be good stuff. Yeah. Mike is good people. Speaking of Mike, by the way, while we are waiting for John, to come on. So tomorrow, as I said, I'm doing my live Aspergenesis campaign as well. I also want to mention Sunday evening, that is this Sunday evening, starting at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will actually have, a live Speculate broadcast, which will be a Speculate broadcast of on Twitch, which will be again playing another tabletop session, and it will be with a set of authors, which is going to be super, super exciting. In fact, I am going to pop up my email right now so I can read out the list of people that we've got. Give me 1 second. Oh, cool. I will check out said clip. All right, so give me a second so I can read out exactly who we've got, because it changed a couple times. So, okay. So so the people that we have got in this, okay, go away. Thank you for my reminders, Outlook. The people that we have got for this are Valerie Valdez, Alex H. White, Joseph Brassey, and none other than, wait for it. None other than, down here, Joyce Chung from Hearts of Wulin. So if you have watched Hearts of Wulin and thought, man, Joyce is awesome, and she is, you are in luck, because not only is Joyce awesome, but Joyce is going to be doing this Speculate thing, a live event again. So we've got those 4 players that are going to be playing with Mike Underwood, my friend Mike, as the GM. It's going to be very exciting, and it is going to be another Scum and Villainy game, which I believe is Star Wars themed. I'm pretty confident, but I know it's Scum and Villainy for sure. So it's going to be very exciting. You're going to want to check that out. It's going to be great. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So it's going to be cool stuff. I didn't actually play Portal 2. I played Portal 1. So I have not actually played Portal 2 yet, Kevin, but I'm going to do that. So yeah. So it's going to be great, Princess. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be Sunday night and probably starting about 7 p.m. Again, this will be another one of those joint sessions where we're recording it and then we'll release it for Speculate, but we're also going to be doing this live on the Twitch channel. So it's going to be great. I have not sold the Grayshade rights to Disney yet. No. I can't wait till that moment, though, that I can turn around, sell it for $500 million, and then spend the next, 20 years of my life yelling and, moaning and sort of kvetching about the fact that they've ruined my franchise and, taking in the salt from everyone around them. So, But anyway, yes. So that's the deal with that. Okay, I don't know what happened to John. Let me just text John here and see, because he was here, but then it was a little late, in fairness, getting him on there. So, hey John, just checking, see if you're all set to come on? Question mark. Okay. Yeah, no, I've heard very good things about Portal 2. I definitely have. Where do we have this? Where's all the link, the thing with the stuff and the business? There we go. There's the link. I just wanted to see this link of Mike's. Here's the link. Mike is a fine writer, and you should absolutely be checking out his work as soon as possible. You should definitely be doing that. Oh, that's right. No, I forgot about that because I played. So you guys should be checking out Mike's work. Mike is a yes. That's right. Because that was actually Speculate. That was a recording that we did for Speculate, and it was a recording for Speculate that. Okay. It was a recording for Speculate that we did, one of those joint accounts that we did also. So yeah. So that is what that was. Yeah. No, I know it was. I may, it's not a big deal. Obviously, I've already made the announcement, but I'd like to have him on to just talk a little bit about his experience with these books and with editing my stuff and about the editing stuff in general. Because, I mean, a lot of people have heard from him about his editing work, I think, but, John has edited a staggering amount of work in the course of a long career. John is my age, actually. He's slightly younger than me, also 47, but a few months behind me. But he has done a lot of work in his career, and as I say, you get nominated for. I would be happy to be nominated for a Hugo a couple times in my career, and he's been nominated for it twice already. So John is good people, a very good editor, and obviously a good friend. So it's going to be great to do it. Thank you, Coven. I am glad that neither of us look it. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe if I can pass for 37 for a while, that'd be great. Actually, if I shaved the beard, I immediately drop 10 years. Like, the beard comes off and immediately I'm just like, kablam, 10 years later. So I would also then have to answer to my daughter for the next 10 years. My daughter was like, I guess a couple of times I've been like, oh, maybe I should shave my beard off. My daughter's like, haha, no. She's very serious. She's like, no. Oh, there he is. All right. John, my friend, are you able to jump on? I just sent you a Zoom link, sir. I just sent you a Zoom link. Can I get you on? Can I get you on the stuff? I'm actually going to turn my webcam off so I can take my sweater off. So bear with me 1 second. None of you need to see that. All right. It's too damn hot. It's too damn hot. Okay, that's better. Now we're cooking with gas. It's Gray. It's Gray. That's exactly what it is. It is Gray. There he is. All right, let me quickly capture. Let me capture this officer and a gentleman here. And then there we go. I will do this. I'm doing it live. Okay. There we go. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Helfers. Chat, everyone, hey, say hi. Say hi to John. Hi, John. Thank you for coming on. Briefly, I will not keep you on long. Also, thank you for bringing the cat.
No worries.
But yeah, so I made the announcement. The Grayshade, as someone called it, the GCU, the Grayshade Cinematic Universe. I don't know
there
what
we
cinematic,
go. It begins tonight. That's right.
Actually, it begins. So it begins.
Years in the making, but
That's right. But the Grayshade universe is with us. So
yes.
So I basically wanted to ask you to talk a little bit. I mean, you've talked about your editing in general terms, as have I. But I wondered if you could just do like just sort of quick rundown about, like, for the folks on the channel who haven't heard this specifically, like, what cool stuff have you edited? Like, what are the highlights of your editing career? Because it's too much to sum up, to do all of it. But what are the highlights of it? And,
it's too much. Let me sum up. Well, so for those who may not be aware, I mean, typically people know me here because I'm now the executive editor, as they call it, at Catalyst Game Labs. So I've been shepherding fiction for them for the past, going on like 9 years now. I think next year's my 10th year since Spells and Chrome came out. But before that, I used to work at a place called Technobooks, which at one time was the largest book packager in the United States. We published over 2,000 books over Martin Greenberg's career. At one time, we did every Tom Clancy book except his Jack Ryan novels. We did all his nonfiction. We did 3 series for the guy. It was unbelievable. I edited. That's where I cut my teeth. That's where I rose from like office peon to senior editor. I learned everything, tricks of the trade from one of the greatest men who ever put together pages in a book.
Yeah, Marty was a legend, by the way. I mean, I have my first check back there that was signed by Marty. Was the one who actually signed it, even though John was the one who got it. So.
So I've edited literally hundreds of anthologies, hundreds of novels, and since then, Marty unfortunately passed away in 2011.
Yeah.
And I figured it was time for a change. I'd been there for about 14 years, and I figured it was time for me to go freelance. And along the way, I met great people like Greg and tons of other, not only authors, but artists as well. And so when I hung up my shingle, I still do work for Catalyst. I've worked with Paizo. I've worked with Nomnivore. I've worked with Mechanical Muse. So I've done a lot of in the game fiction intersection, but also gaming book editing as well. So I bring a fairly broad set of skills to this project, and I'm really looking forward to working with Greg again. I should call you Arv since we're on Twitch, but since
Sorry.
as you sometimes mentioned that I bought your first book.
That's right. Bought my first book, The Third Sign, which was, and I met John actually in person at Gen Con when he was doing a panel big on the small press, and came up and sort of talked to him afterwards, and he didn't immediately send me off, and said, like, be gone with you. And we went back and forth, and the experience of John editing the book was really great. John is the editors that I've worked with, the best ones are the ones who really get to the heart of what the author is trying to say, and really, allow the author's voice to come through, and refine it in a way that the author wouldn't be able to do entirely on their own, which is why you should never do the final edits on your books. You need another set of fresh eyes that isn't just your mom, unless your mom is a professional editor. So John was a wonderful editor, and I was just very happy to work with him for The Third Sign. So when this opportunity came around, and I've talked with John on and off for many years about different projects and different things, and I've worked with him. He's edited me on some stuff that I gave him for Nomnivore, and short work and things like that. So there's been a bunch of that stuff that we've had before, and obviously John plays, of course, in my campaign and is the GM for the Emberwind campaign on this channel too. So it just made sense when I started talking to him, and the fact that there's 5 people in this industry and everybody knows each other. When I started thinking about where the Grayshade stuff would fit best, Michael Cervella from Clarion Game Studios had done the Henchman game, which was John and Dylan Bertolo. And I mean, I've known Dylan for many years as well, and Dylan's been on this channel also. And so it just seemed to kind of come together in this really nice fashion where everyone knows each other, everyone respects each other, everyone works with each other, and then having the chance to bring in the Alligator Alley people that I know from Forbidden Library and from Esper Genesis, and to have Aaron Rosenberg, who John and I run the Origins library with, do a design in the RPG. It just all kind of, came together. So I guess the other question I would have, and you should mention, by the way, that I do want you to mention what you were nominated for a Hugo for twice. Two Hugos nominations.
Yep,
so,
0-2. That is correct.
Listen, I'm currently over 0, so I'll take. Listen.
The first one was the guide to Lois McMaster Bujold's Barrier science fiction universe, which was a lot of fun. It was a great project to do. That's how my first major project, actually, and I still work with her because she's awesome. Was my first nonfiction project that I kind of shepherded, jammed down the publisher's throat in a polite way, was the Valdemar Companion, a guide to the works of Misty Lackey, and that led to a friendship and a professional relationship, which is still going on today. But the first Hugo was for the Barrier world that Lois McMaster Bujold had done, and I was flabbergasted to get that. But my second one, which I'm almost more proud of, we got a nomination for Martin Greenberg's bibliography, which is something like I don't know, 300 pages long. You can actually get
It's
a
staggering.
big,
Like,
fat paperback book of it if you wanted to show
Yeah.
all the. And the really sad part is we know it's not complete. He did so much, and he kept track of it. He would nothing better after putting a book together. There's nothing he liked better than to enter it into his terrible filing system that he did on his computer. But he tried. Bless his heart, he tried. And we know it's not complete. I mean, we had like over 2,000 foreign editions of his work, of the books he did. It was insane. It's just the listings of, like a Clancy book would sell in 14 languages, and we did copies of them of 14 different, like in Serbian and Russian and Chinese, and it was crazy. It was just crazy. So yeah, I was nominated twice. I lost once to Scalzi. I remember that one. Because I was actually in Toronto at the time. I decided I'm going if I have a chance to get one. And Lillian Stewart Carl, my co-editor on the Barryar one, we were both there, and we were mildly disappointed. But then we went and got our Hugo Losers ribbon from George Martin. So it was pretty good.
I actually met George Martin for the first time. I met him a second time in Norwestcon, but I met him for the first time with you at the Hugo Loser party. And
yes.
I went with you.
Yes.
I don't remember which one it was, though. I don't remember if it was that one or if it was the second one.
That was the first one. That was my first brush with Hugo. My first Hugo loss. Okay. So, it was Toronto. We were both there, and you were my +1, as I recall.
That's
so
right.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
And I got to hold the Hugo that should have been ours, but it wasn't. So, So who knows? Down the road, it'd be nice to actually. I mean, I am an Origins Award-winning editor, which is kind of nice. I won for Spells in Chrome.
True.
The anthology that kind of helped relaunch Shadowrun and BattleTech Fiction. So I'm very pleased about that. So you can say award-winning editor. Yeah, I know.
John,
I should have it emblazoned on my forehead. Yeah. And next year we're going to do a 10th. I think we're going to do a 10th anniversary reprint of the anthology. So yeah,
nice.
And I should because it counts. It
It absolutely counts.
Yeah.
So
that's award nominated, award winning. But I think the key I wanted to bring up, Greg, is I also write. I don't just edit.
Of course, and I brought that up as well.
Yeah. So I come at the editorial side, but I also am. I like to think I'm fairly, kind to the writers as well, because I understand what you guys go through, what we go through when we're making a story, when we're creating a world. And I like to think I bring that sensibility to my editorial. Not just, not the red pen of doom,
Yeah.
So,
No,
but I'm looking forward. I've read Grayshade already because I supplied you with a blurb, but giving the chance to work on it, I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I'm very excited to do that, to have you involved with it. And it should be said, by the way, that as on the John's writing stuff, so some of the books, of course, you will, like, it's books and stories, you will see, you can actually see under John's name, and then John's done some other stuff, which of course we can't talk about, but I promise you it's prominent stuff, and I know it, but I know of it, but I mean, like, it's not something which is out there for public consumption, because that's not the way that these things work. But
technically, the one project someone actually did, I know the one you're talking about, the one project actually was leaked, but they still don't want me discussing it.
Really? Okay.
A British newspaper did a really nice review, and they actually outed me.
Did they?
Yeah, and it was.
Is this one of those deals where I can tell people, like, it's like, go look for the torrent? Can I tell people to do like do John British newspaper secret plan?
If you put in the funny part is they called me a science fiction writer, which is hilarious.
Okay.
So if you put all those clues together, you could probably find it. I mean, it's still up there, I'm sure. I don't even remember which paper it was.
You should try to find it. That's
I think I have it. I actually when that book came out, I actually took all the articles. I do have them. And I
will
them,
say
so.
It's prominent, but I have to say that I'm pretty confident that no one in this chat would have the faintest idea what exactly it was. Do you know what I mean? Based on what they know of you, I don't think they would put those two things together. They would not expect
me to be involved in that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They would not expect it at all.
I wouldn't expect me to be involved in it, exactly. So,
but it's but it's really cool. But yeah, no, I'm super happy that John's on board. John will also be doing some editing passes on stuff with the board game. John has also playtested the board game, and I think can confirm this game's legit. Like it's
board game's awesome.
It's real good.
Yeah. It is so cool. And are we doing the RPG mention?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I'll probably be working on that after Aaron and everyone puts their stuff in. Because I've edited Aaron, I've edited you, I've edited Dylan.
Yep.
And I've also edited game books like the RPG game we're going to do. So yeah, I think I'm going to take a pretty. I would like to say a fairly active hand in all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be great. So I mean, I'm really excited to have it on board.
It is a hell of a team.
Yeah.
that Arv has assembled here. It's really quite impressive. And of course, like I said, I put you in touch, or I don't know if you said I put you in touch with Michael because of Henchman,
Yep.
because of the great experience that Dylan and I had with that.
John made the contact
And
for sure.
and very happy to get you on board. And Michael's of course very excited too. We're all really super thrilled to bring this IP into the world. So.
Yeah, so I'm super glad about it, and I appreciate it very much. No, it was not a haha. Dunsel has discovered it. Dunsel has.
I mean,
Dunsel has discovered. He's discovered a thing. It exists. Yes. He's discovered a thing.
A thing.
Yes. He's discovered a thing.
Particular, a book about a certain member of that.
It's a book about a thing
of that group. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just
well, the internet is pretty good about sorting that out, but it's public. If you want to, it's not like no one went to them and said take it down. Exactly.
We're just combining.
If someone goes out and
2.
happens to find that is entirely upon them.
I mean, exactly. But no, in all seriousness, I really do appreciate your work on this, John. I cannot wait to get the edits back and to sort of see this all to come together. And I have to say that again, this is something which the channel has partly made possible because there are so many ways in which this channel has been at the nexus of the center of a lot of what we do, and so it's exciting, honestly.
Totally.
Totally. You found it in The Guardian. Oh, well, the Guardian is a
there
good
it is. Oh, got the link up.
Again, that has nothing to do with anything, Chad. It's just a thing.
Yeah. No, the reviews were, and that one is very good as well. The reviews were uniformly very positive, so I was very thrilled about that. So, thank you, Dunsel. Like I said, it didn't take you long, so it was pretty
wasn't
quick.
Hard to do.
Yeah. I figured the SF thing would probably give it away.
Mm-hmm.
But again, never said the name, never said anything.
No. I mean, listen, it's all this is all just very speculation, complete speculation. But I really do appreciate it, John. And again, folks, for those who don't know, there you go. All you have to do is Google John Helfers and click the news tab. Really? Wow. All right then. That's good. That's good to know.
That's
the
hilarious.
Guardian article was well edited. Nice.
Well, they put out good work. I actually like the Guardian. They do good work.
They do. I like the Guardian also. They have actually really good coverage of Brexit and the elections and stuff like that.
The insanity.
Too, so.
Yes,
the
exactly.
insanity that it is. But this is great. I'm very excited for it. And again, folks, just to recap for those who joined late, this is the release of this is the announcement of a Grayshade Universe Kickstarter, which will be happening early next year. The target date is somewhere around March of next year, when we will be launching essentially 3 major components with a 4th one soon thereafter, or that is an aspect of that. The 3 components are, number 1, the novels, 3 novels, Grayshade, the sequel Renegade, and the sequel to that, Heretic, all part of which makes up the Grey Assassin trilogy, which is that set of books. That is going to be edited by John Helfers. The board game, which is being released by Clarion Game Studios, makers of Henchman and Hull Breach, I should say. They're the ones who actually own the Hull Breach IP and have been coordinating that. And so that is going to be Clarion Game Studios is doing the board game, and that was designed by Dylan Bertolo, who is not only an author but works with Linvander Studios and also is responsible for the Shadowrun Sprawl Ops game coming out from Catalyst, which made over $100,000 on Kickstarter. So it's a big deal, and he is a big time up and coming designer. So I was very happy to get him.
He's super legit.
Yeah, like very much so. Like I'm very, very excited to have him on board. And then the RPG, which is going to be either part of the main package or is going to be an immediate stretch goal, not one of those like pie in the sky deals, but very much one that we want to be a part of this very soon, if not immediately as part of it. And that will be the Grayshade RPG, which is being designed by Aaron Rosenberg, who is a hugely this guy would be the picture of veteran author, would be this guy. Like Aaron has done so much work, has released tons of originals, tons of tie-in work, and of course has designed tons, and in fact owned his own game company for a while, so has done tons of games and game supplements and things like that. He will be designing the RPG, and the game will be released in that form by Alligator Alley Entertainment, which of course is responsible for Esper Genesis and responsible for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. So they are super legit as well, as folks will know if you've watched my channel. And then the last component, which is the soon thereafter component, is the audio, which Trendane Sparks is responsible for, the audio book, which we hope to have. And again, whether that's going to be a slightly higher stretch goal or what we don't yet know entirely, but it is going to be somewhere in there that's going to be coming out as well. And I do want to highlight that because, again, because everything works together here, Tren has released audiobooks in the Shadowrun universe, which John has gotten from him, has been the one who sort of coordinated that. And so Tren has been the one doing that. And of course, Trendane is also the voice of the main bad guy in the huge hit from Harebrained Schemes, the Battletech video game that came out last year. So a lot of stuff that's good. And so I'm super, super excited about it. It's going to be great. And as John said, I'm just super happy with this team. So, John, thank you very much for jumping on to talk a little bit about it. This is super great, and I'm super excited about it and all that kind of stuff. So,
right. So you're heading out to PAX tomorrow, right?
I am heading to PAX tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to be streaming a little bit more, but yes, I'm heading to PAX Unplugged tomorrow, and I'm going to be meeting up with the Alligator Rally guys. I might, if I can, sort of chat with them and with Michael and Dylan, do kind of a live from PAX stream, and then I'll be streaming Esper Genesis live from there tomorrow night. So,
well, I will be there in spirit, unfortunately, because I'm not there in reality, alas. But
unfortunately,
no, happy to jump in and answer questions, and like I said, so looking forward to bringing this to life. So it's gonna be fantastic, man.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And the GSLU, the Grayshade Literary Universe, nice. The Guslu.
There you go. There you go. Yes, it sells itself.
Exactly. But thank you so much, John. I appreciate it, and can't wait. And you and I will be chatting soon about other things, and obviously I'll see you for Chris Estrad in the not too distant future also.
Indeed. Yes.
Thank you, sir. All best, and chat can get some love for John. Always amazing. And John, thanks again, man.
Thanks for having me, chat. Good to see you all, and take care, everybody.
Bye for now. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. So that is good stuff. So so that's the announcement, folks. I teased it. It was a big announcement. I hope you agreed it was a big announcement because, oh my God, I'm just very pumped up about it. So yeah. I'm telling you, like, everything I thought about, I'm like, the novels are, of course, for me, that's the dream, because I mean, that's the thing that I worked so hard on. But then the board game, like, it's so good. It's just like, oh man. And then the role-playing game, I'm like, you guys know, like, tabletop that's my heart and soul, man, is from a enjoyment point of view. Like, I love tabletop and getting a chance to be in this world. And then I told you, I got chills listening to Tren's audio of it. Like, just every component of it is just something I'm really happy about. So all I would ask from you folks is I'll be happy to answer questions again and talk a little bit about what I can talk about as we move into streaming here, moving on to games here. But please do what you can to spread the word and let people know about it. You can direct them to me if they have more questions that they want to ask. And again, starting in March is when the Kickstarter launch will be. So again, busy year next year. Forbidden Library coming out in February. This Kickstarter launching in March. Icarus and Jelinek coming out, my graphic novels coming out from Athos Arts Entertainment. By the way, you can still pre-order that, so definitely check that out. That is going to be coming out in April. And then we've got Origins in June. I've got 2 conferences in May as well. ReaderCon in July, Gen Con in August, possibly Teaching Abroad next fall. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm very excited about all of it, so it's going to be great. So yeah, that's the deal. Yes, you have a short novel of a heartfelt story. Thank you, Dunsel. Thanks, man. So I will look back over. If I missed stuff, I apologize as people were talking, but I wanted to make sure I got all this stuff in. I'm going to move over to Neverwinter Nights, and I hope you folks will stick around for some more Tyrants of the Moonsea, but I'm going to do that right now. But let me read this quickly. Had a delivery. Yes, that's right, Sparkly. We had to do that, Sparkly. We had to do that because the Grayshade Amazon page was from the Ed Greenwood group. That's not the edition that you would be getting. This is a Grayshade edition, which is based on my original manuscript. I do not have any Ed Greenwood stuff in there. Ed is a very good, I would consider Ed to be a good friend. Let me just say the idea that Ed Greenwood is a good friend, if I could just tell that to 10-year-old me. Oh my God. But anyway, I would consider Ed Greenwood a friend, and but Ed's publisher is not working, and so publishing company no longer exists, and so that's why we had to take that out of print. So it's out of print because we can't have that and also sell something new. So when Clarion releases this and we begin to release that, this is going to be the new edition, and it's going to be followed, as I say, with Renegade and Heretic. Grayshade's already finished. It just needs to go through the edits from John. Renegade is already done. That needs to go through the edits with John. And then Heretic is outlined but not done. That obviously is going to be a year or so down the line. But Grayshade would come out in 2020 if the Kickstarter goes well. It'll be out in 2020. Renegade would probably be 2021, and Heretic would probably be 2022. So that's what we're looking at as far as the release is concerned. Now, before I do want to talk about Coven's message, because I know that's important. So I want to go back up to Kilobyte quickly. Kilobyte. We need to talk about something we had a meeting about a while back. Is that referring to Kilobyte? Is that referring to what I just talked about this evening? What I've just been talking about this evening? Is it around that same subject? If I'm not mistaken, maybe. Kill, is that right? Okay, yes, I know what that is. Yes, we do. But that will see. That's again. Well, I can't say what I'm about to say because then I'm gonna like reveal things that we shouldn't reveal. I'll just say Grayshade Universe and yes. Okay? So yes, we do, and Grayshade Universe. So yes, for sure. We do need to talk about that. Okay. Now let me respond to this with Coven Guy, and then let me actually, let me stop the announcement now, and I'm just going to stop the recording, and then I'll restart the recording. So again, let me thank everyone who watched this announcement, and please spread the word, let people know, and come back to us again, because this will be back. Again, March is when we're looking to release this, and I'm very excited about it. And oh man, so March is going to be the launch of the Kickstarter, but we will have more details about that as we come closer to it. So thank you all for being in this announcement. We're not stopping the stream, we're just stopping the recording. But for those of you watching the recording, thank you very much, and I'll catch you on my Twitch channel soon.